sit there and put a little sticker over it or something like that, just,
Got a voted sticker right there.
I know. I mean, it was wonderful.
It's being used, eh?
I think, is it Runcie that was out there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it was, he was standing out in the middle directing traffic. It looked like, Shields on the day after Thanksgiving. So, I mean, it was a nice deal.
And we usually keep,
And everybody's very appreciative of it. So I've had a number of questions about it because it says November 1st. That's all. That's the only reason I'm bringing it
I
up.
know that we rely on Clem and the newspaper also.
I know, but if you look
We keep
around
that.
town, you got 50% of leaves still on these trees.
Mm-hmm.
They're hanging on. So I think we got to leave it open for a while, as weather permitting.
Yep.
Just understand.
We're going to do that.
Just want to make that.
Well, we can, I mean, we can look at that sign if we do.
Yeah.
It's not a huge deal. It just seems like that's, I don't know. I don't get many calls, but I got half a dozen on that just in the weekend.
Okay. Anything else, Rex?
Nope, that was wonderful.
I'll pass, thank you.
Steve?
Don't forget to vote.
Steve wants to remind you, don't forget to vote again.
It was an hour ago, so.
Okay, moving on to Jason.
I really don't have a whole lot. I mentioned that we will be, the airport improvement program, that will be coming to council this meeting or next, I don't know. I also want to get to the full council our construction improvement plan, so that looks out 5 years. I want to get that in your hands before we get into the whole budget process. So that'll be at the next or the next council meeting, that'll come to you. Just a quick update on the KNS 4th edition. So if you've been by there, you see that they're still working on it. 2nd Avenue, so 1st Avenue, and the cul-de-sac that comes off of it is utilities installed and paved. Then up the hill to the east, the utilities are installed for 2nd Avenue. And I believe Aldrich is on site to pave that yet this week. And then my discussion with Bruce Kellen late last week was that's probably where it will end for this year. And 3rd Avenue will pick up in the spring. So there may come a point in the near future that we do kind of a partial acceptance of that subdivision because 1st Avenue will be done, 2nd Avenue will be done. So we'll do a partial is what the request will be. So we can accept those utilities in the streets so they can start selling. So, and then so we don't forget Prairie View. If you've been out there on Holton Drive, what Vision, their subdivision out there, they have moved in and they are constructing 4 unit, I think you said, Greg. Yep. 4 units out there. So. That one took a little bit of time to get going, but it is started. And that
Housing is still moving ahead in the town.
Yeah. So that's really all I wanted to give you updates on this week.
Any questions for Jason?
Going back to Rex's, is there a reason Twig and Branch even has to be that seasonal? I mean, you get nice days in February, you get nice days in January. A lot of people go pick up stuff, you get branches all year round. I mean, once again, this is strictly a question. Is it something we should look at keeping open all year? Maybe not every week, but... It's a good place to get rid of it.
Well, we could, I mean, we could talk about reducing
I think they do anyway.
the frequency that it's open.
Yeah, I think we should look at that.
You know, yeah.
It's something not a lot of places have, but we certainly use it big time. And it helps fans, it helps everybody else out by not having to deal with all that stuff. Helps the city out. not having to deal with it.
Somebody has to be there.
Somebody has to be there, I agree. So infrequent openings would be somebody, yes, it's gonna cost a little bit of money for somebody to be there, but infrequent is not the end of the world on something like that.
And the other one on that is, and I don't know if this is not an allowed item, so I want to be careful, but Christmas trees. People could drop off their Christmas trees. Now, I know it's twig and branch, and I
Oh,
mean,
they could, I think we go around.
we still do a pickup? We
Yeah.
still do a pickup? Okay, all right, I wasn't 100% sure on that. But
Yeah,
we
we
could,
do.
we could maybe eliminate that.
Yeah, we still go around and pick them up.
And then the other one that I saw on the bottom, and I was waiting to bring this up, was, and I'm probably going to get a lot of boos from the audience here, but have we considered going odd even all year round? There's two reasons I'm asking this question. I've talked to Scott Knipe, and I know Perry and the Leaf people fight voids in different blocks. And recently, I have noted plenty of times where cars parked on both sides of the street, get down to that Cleveland Park area where I mean, that's where I live. There's times, I'll tell you what, it's tight to get through because of odd even. And I'm wondering if that is not something we should look at. And I know it probably is not the most popular thing.
You mean tight without odd even?
Well, yeah, because they're parked on both sides. On the non, yes, absolutely. Summertime parties, things like that, you know, you can get some pretty clogged in streets. And then once again, with Perry and those guys, during the last rain, I called Scott, because we had an inlet that was just piled full of leaves. There was no water going down. I bet you out in front of my neighbor's house, I'll bet you the water in the street was probably 12, 16 inches. And Perry couldn't get through there. So they came up and they cleaned it, but I don't know, I think it's something that maybe we should look at year-round, odd even.
So what's Clark's cell phone
Does,
number?
would the police or fire have any comments in regard to that?
Oh, you knew we had to wake up Kevin.
Well, there's 15 of us that really enjoy April 1st when it comes. Yeah, it's something we can look at. I think it probably needs to go to public safety and we can evaluate it. But would it work all year round? I think there's going to be problems with some of the summer activities and things like that, but it's something we can discuss at least.
Yeah, and maybe it's not a good idea. I mean, I'm open to that, but I think
Yeah, I don't know why it is, but majority of the streets in town are 31 foot back-to-back of curbs. But it just, you can drive down some streets where that seems to be wide enough, but then other streets, it just seems like it's more,
bottleneck.
yeah.
Pickup trucks are getting bigger.
Yeah, I mean, if you go down, besides Prime Bank and the Mars Auto Parts and stuff like that, that's a scary street to drive down. With the pickup truck stuck out in Lamar's Optometric and the bank, and even at the post office, they're stuck out. Boy, you look a long way ahead on a couple of those streets to try to get through.
I'll tell you, the other one has got a tremendous amount of traffic on is 18th Street. That one is,
Yep.
that one's a close,
Yep.
I even have to slow down when I go down that street.
Oh, now wait a minute. I don't know if you can.
On those streets you mentioned, Rex, I noticed myself when I take those that as soon as I hit those areas, my eyes automatically turn to watching tail lights
Yes.
to make
Yeah.
sure that you don't, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
and Dennis will cross the street there, but if you go across the street on that block, you have to watch people's eyes because you don't see any eyes. They're either flipping through the mail or on their cell phone as they're going through those intersections.
You know, coming out of that alley from back of your shop and our shop, you almost have to get out into the street itself to look around all the cars that are parked by the postal service. And then, as Jason says, when you go past the north side of Prime Bank, it seems like you're hoping that there's not an oncoming vehicle because you're going to have to crowd over on that center line anyway.
I don't know if we can't fix those problems, but we can just sit there, we bring them up like Clark's bringing them up, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and maybe it'd be more hassle than it's worth, but just to help street department. I mean, you got to understand something. The street sweeper is not there just to make things look pretty. It actually has a function that helps our sewer system, storm sewer system, function well. So, I mean, it has a function, and it maybe just extended from October 1st,
So
and pick up another
the last
phone.
guy here is Death Star, right?
So.
The Death Star, Jacob?
He's a man he's a man that controls the money,
I know, we call it Death Star.
and yeah. Any other questions for Jason?
The only thing I would say is 18th Street, from 6th Avenue east, does not have curb and gutter on the one side, and that's one of the reasons that seems so narrow driving through there.
Okay.
If you want to go to the expense of putting curb and gutter on there, you could widen it by
Oh, we can't do
2.5, 3
sensible
feet.
things.
It would take storm sewer, I think, we'd have to fill that ditch in, put
Yeah.
storm sewer pipe.
But that would make it more acceptable, because there are semis using that also.
Ken, you didn't listen to the microphone show this before the meeting today. You're sitting way too far back.
I'm very comfortable. You wouldn't listen anyhow.
Jacob, you're next.
Okay. I'll keep mine short again today.
Good.
Just we had our audit field work this last week. I know they're still wrapping some things up, but no issues came back yet. And then next meeting, there'll be a few things on next meeting. We'll have our insurance renewal, and then our AFRs due December 1st. So we'll try to have that on next meeting, and also the TIF certification. So.
Any questions for Jason
Jacob.
or Jacob? Get those two mixed up.
It's okay, we're all good.
We're all good. I need to clarify one thing that happened at the last meeting, and I want to clean it up. At the last meeting, when I asked for to adjourn, I made the word cancel it, and I need to clean that up. Today, we're going to adjourn, so
Okay.
entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'm so moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.